Okay, I'm back, and I just wanted to let you see kind of how I stitch if I'm doing this by hand. And I had parked underneath um, the, I took my knotted thread and I buried it underneath. I went from behind, but you can, and I only did that because I had heat set this so much. It was down so close that I had to go that way. So you can see I've taken a stitch and then I'm going to come up here. That's my silk thread I'm using. I have the green one loaded into the machine now, but I love YLI Superior. I love Aurifil threads, Wonderfil threads, all of the above. So, I love the Quilter Select that Alex Anderson has. So you find what matches, but I do love the 80 weight cottons. I never use anything more than a 60 weight heavy, because I really want to make my stitches disappear, and the silk does it for me. It's very easy to thread and handle. So I've got a length of thread of 12 to 18 inches. This is a little bit longer. I'm using an applique or a sharp needle because they have less flexibility than a milliner or a straw. If I was doing needle turn, I'd love a milliner or a straw, but because does have much more body to it, I want something that's a little firmer. You could use like even a between, but betweens are the tiny quilting needles that we use, and so this is meant for this. I'm going to see if I can pull you a little bit more light over onto the subject. Okay, so I go down right behind where my thread came up, and I just went to the side. I'm kind of at an angle. I'm going under the lip just by a little bit, and I think about how big do I want my stitch to be, and that's where I come back. So I went through just background, and I came up through both background and the top applique fabric, and give it a little snug. And again, back to just the background, and then back up in here. And it doesn't matter if your stitches are, I'm just trying to stay on the edge. I don't care if my stitches or your stitches are larger. Snug every stitch if it's silk, because it slips. And it just needs to be tugged in, and your stitches will just melt. I'm catching on something over there. And if the stitches are larger, that's fine. Just be consistent with them. A lot of times I work and try to get my finest stitches only to go back and then embellish with embroidery thread around it. And I'm like, well, dang, I didn't have to do that. I just hid those beautiful stitches I spent so much time trying to make. But that's what my hand stitching looks like. So have fun with that. I love, love, love the take along. And I always have something to go with me. So I'm going to start doing the machine. Okay, I'm at the machine now. And I have to tell you what I really, really, really love about this technique, this prepared edge technique, which I first learned from Sharon Schomburg, the great Sharon Schomburg. I kind of tweaked some things that she did, but the gist of it came from classes with her. And if you know of her, you know she has won many Best of Shows with the most exquisite applique you've ever seen. So that's kind of what I try to share when people want prepared edge, is where that method comes from. I have threaded up with silk thread in the machine. I have a 60 weight bobbin in. I could put the silk into the bobbin, but my machine does not particularly like the silk in the bobbin, and I'd rather save the silk for my handwork and the top threads. So it does perfectly fine with a 60 weight, and it's just a cotton. And I use the pre-round bobbins as much as I can. You can get so much more sewing on those as opposed to the ones that you wind yourself. So I'm sewing on my Pfaff machine, and let me see if I can turn that. It's a workhorse. It's a great one. When I had my quilt store years ago, we used to sell Pfaff machines, and you just have them forever. They're wonderful. But you could do any of this gorgeous applique though with any type of machine or hand. So I'm setting my machine to a zigzag, and it comes on at 4 and a 3 stitch length and width, and so, or width and length. So I'm going to bring it down on my machine to a 1.0 and a 1.0, and you can lock them in or whatever. I have a needle up, needle down on this machine, so I definitely want to use a needle up, needle down. And then I have also a presser, automatic presser lift when I come around the corners. Those are, bells and whistles that you don't have to have. They're nice if you do have them. A lot of the newer machines have them, of course. So I am using an open toe embroidery foot. Let's see if you can see that. And they make them with the clear little plastic across them. I like the open toe one. This is a metal one. I can really see where I'm going and where I've been. I'm going to start with one of the leaves in the middle, and even though I'm using a darker green, it matches these much better. I'm going to go ahead and use it on this one, and hopefully you can see it a little bit better. So I'm just going to get my machine needle close to where I think I'm going to want to give it a start. And when I'm zigzagging, for me, the zig is on the inside of the fabric, the zag is on the outside. I'm trying to go through just the background at that point. So I'm going to bring my presser foot down, put my needle in place there. And I do like to take a couple of back stitches. Some of you have it where it'll lock off. I don't know. Oh, I think I might have my presser feet down. I haven't sewn on the machine in a while, y'all. It hasn't been happening. Okay, so I think I'm up pretty darn close. Let's see if I can get even closer for you. All right, I think you can see that there. So I'm going to show you how I approach this tip. I'm going to go real slow. As you can see, I am trying to go zig on just the applique in the background and zag on just the background. So I've got a black bobbin thread in, and a lot of times when I sew a black quilt, I do everything in black threads. And that'll be another tip that I will get to and tell you about. So did you see I just moved over just a little quarter turns, or a little bit of a turn, and walk around it and capture anything there. Now, if I had not cut off the little dog ear that was still extended, I could have stopped at that point and removed it. But since I'm a machine girl mostly on my samples, I like instant gratification, and I will mock up a block and have everything completely done. And my reasoning for this, I took a couple of back stitches and I'm good there. So my reasoning is that if I put on a yellow bird and I decide that yellow bird doesn't look good, well, I'm not married to him. He's just glued down. I can pick him up and you can see. So again, I probably would have put a black thread on here, and then I would have gone back with my identi pins or Pigma pins and just kind of touched in between here. You'd be amazing what the paint pins and the different things do. So anyway, that's how I do that. And I must tell you, I have totally enjoyed today being with you, and I hope that you have. I bet you I'm going to think of a million other things I want to share with you. At this point, I'll save them until next month unless you have questions for me and comments. And do let your friends know about it if you feel like it was good value for your free block of the month. I just want to get some of these good techniques to you and share the way people have shared with me through the years. So thank you so much, and happy June, a joyous June, and stay in touch. Bye-bye.